welcome everyone to the middle school geography bee and the high school social studies bee. I'm going to ask Mr. Thomas Ashley to come forward to lead us in the pledges to the flags of the U.S. and Texas. If you will, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may now be seated. Now I'd like to bring Ms. Holly Malloy, Assistant Superintendent for Academic Support, to come forward to bring greetings from the district and the board.
Good morning. How's everybody feeling today? Good. Don't miss our fire alarm. We had one yesterday and everybody had to get up and leave. And this morning we had one again, but y'all weren't here yet. So that's a good start already winning, right? So I'm here from our superintendent of schools, Dr. John Moore. How many of you have seen him walking your hallways or some video? He does his monthly messages, right? Dr. John Moore. And then his bosses are called our Board of Trustees. And they wanted me to come today to give you greetings and tell you thank you guys for all your hard work and how much we appreciate you, and we're so excited for you today. Now, because of all your hard work, I'm going to give you the entire next week off. Y'all good with that? Yes. So, of course, we're celebrating Thanksgiving next week, and we have so many things to be thankful for. So make sure you show people that thanks. Show the people that take care of you at home your thanks. How about your coaches in here? Can you say thank you? Thank you. Yes. Your teachers back at school. Thank the custodians because they keep your rooms clean. And thank your nutrition workers in the cafeteria because they make sure that you have some food. We won't say if it's good or bad, but they make sure you have food, right? All right, so just remember to thank everybody. And we thank you guys for your hard work. And I'm so excited to see who's winning this today. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you, Ms. Malloy. I'd also like to take an opportunity to recognize a few people that have helped so much with the Geography Bee. First, Ms. Judith Rodriguez, our Director for Elementary Language Arts and Social Studies. Ms. Terrence Rosas and Ms. Carla Capatillo. And all of our amazing volunteers. Students, I'd like to introduce you to a few people that are very important today to the competition. First, Ms. Michelle Merritt. She's our buzzer master. Over here on the side, we have Dr. Melissa Jensen. She'll be our microphone. On the far end of the table, Mr. Robert Seibert, our Google master. Mr. Seibert hates attention, so of course we all enjoy giving him as much attention as possible. And then we have our three amazing judges, Dr. Kareem Brown, Ms. Helen Tiller, and Ms. Heather Seibert. Now I'm going to explain a little bit about how the bees will work. First, our middle school teams will remain in this room to participate in the team competition, while the high school teams will go into the staff development rooms for the individual written test. The oral competition portion is the school team competition. The winner of the team competition will receive a trophy to display on your campus and, of course, bragging rights. For the individual written test, the middle school students will be competing against the other students in their grade level, and the high school students will be competing against all high school students. Both time and accuracy are used to determine our individual winners. Awards for individuals and teams will be handed out at the conclusion of the competition. Team awards are based on the quizmatic round of competition. Individual awards are given by each grade level for middle school, as well as best overall score for the written exam in both middle and high school. The high school winner with the best overall score will receive a $500 scholarship and will be entered into the Texas Citizen Bee regional competition. At this time, I ask anyone to turn off your cell phones and keep them out of sight during the competition. If you need to take a call, please take them out of the room so the contestants can hear the questions without any distractions. Also, there should be no communication or interaction between participants and coaches or spectators in between team competition and individual testing rounds. Our volunteers will take great care of our participants who are involved in the competition. If we don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and get started. So Ms. Rosas is over here at the side. She's going to first escort our high school team members to the written competition. So high school kiddos, if you guys can go ahead and line up over here on the side with Ms. Terrence. And let's go ahead and give them a big round of applause and good luck as they head back. And then I'm going to go ahead and ask my middle school students to come on up to the table and have a seat. So down here at the far end, we'll have Cunningham Middle School. At the second, we'll have Galena Park Middle School. The third group of tables, North Shore and Woodland Acres. Okay, students listen up because we're going to go through some rules, okay, before we practice with the buzzer a little bit, okay? Keep your hands on the table, one on each side of the buzzer. You may not hover over the buzzer. When you buzz in, I will stop reading the question even if I'm not finished, and you will have to supply an answer. So make sure you hear the entire question. After you've buzzed in, you must wait until the buzzer master calls out the name of your school before you answer. At that time, an answer must be provided. So Ms. Merritt will call your school name. Dr. Jensen will bring the microphone to your table, and then just make sure you speak into the microphone. But do not shout out an answer until your school has been acknowledged. If you answer before your school has been recognized, your answer will not count and you will lose a point. I will then reread the question and another student will be allowed to buzz in. Teams may work together to discuss the question. For each correct answer, your team receives 1 point. For each incorrect answer, your team loses 1 point. If the first team gives an incorrect answer, another team will be allowed to buzz in. There are only 2 opportunities for teams to answer. If 2 teams attempt the question with no correct answer, no one else is eligible. Each competitor will have an opportunity to practice using the buzzer. Remember to wait for the buzzer master to say your school name before you respond. Okay? So we're going to start off. We're going to buzz in. Each student at your table will buzz in. Okay? Ms. Merritt will say your school name, and then I want you to tell me your name loud and proud and your favorite subject in school. Okay? We'll start down here with Cunningham Middle School. Go ahead.
Cunningham.
My name is Rocky Balboa, and my favorite subject is social studies.
Yay! Rocky, let me tell you a little story about yesterday. I listened to 45 elementary school kids tell me everything but social studies. And I was deeply offended. And then a couple said social studies, but they didn't mean it. They were only saying it because they would hurt my feelings. So thank you for starting us off strong. See, Heather, there are some of us out here. Okay, welcome. Next up.
My name is Joe Garland. My favorite subject is science.
Well, we started off strong. Yeah, okay, go ahead, sweetheart. Hold on, there you go.
My name is Alan Salguero, and my favorite subject is social studies.
Good job. Yay. All right, welcome Cunningham. Moving over to Galena Park Middle.
Galena Park.
My name is Joseph Vicencio. My favorite subject is math.
Okay. There's got to be a couple of those people out there. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Galena Park.
My name is Jasmine Chavez, and my favorite subjects are social studies and science.
Oh, okay. She didn't say that with her whole chest, but I was like, oh, let me just say this. But I'll say science because that's really what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Galena Park.
My name is Santiago Montenegro, and I like math.
Okay. Welcome, Galena Park. All right, next up, North Shore.
North Shore.
My name is Sunshine Good, and I really like math.
Welcome. I'll show you the people over here today. Okay, go ahead.
North Shore.
My name is Jacob Mendoza, and I like social studies and math.
It's not just me, right? You guys are getting the trend. Say something, but I don't mean it. Okay, go ahead.
North Shore.
My name is Emmanuel Lozano, and I like social studies.
All right. Welcome, North Shore. Okay, Woodland Acres.
Woodland Acres.
Good morning, my name is Angel Fuentes, and my favorite subjects are AP Social Studies and AP History of Lunch.
History of lunch. Yes, he's gonna appreciate my joke. bones. Okay, welcome. Next.
Woodland Acres.
Good morning, my name is Nolan and my favorite subject is science.
Welcome. Good morning. All right, last but not least.
Woodland Acres.
My name is Adrian Calderon and I like science.
Welcome. Raise your hand if you've been doing the geography piece since elementary school. Yeah, some of you have watched you grow up. Remember. Okay, let me point something out. Did you guys see how you didn't hit the buzzer really hard? You didn't have to slam it. It didn't have to bounce off the table. Okay, don't break my buzzers. Gently push, okay? If you pick up the buzzer, the sensor's on the bottom, it won't register. So just make sure you push it. Anyone at your table can push it. It doesn't have to be the person to answer, okay? All right, with that, let's do a few practice questions. So remember, your hands have to stay on the table. They cannot be on top of the buzzer. Once you buzz in, Miss Merritt will say your school name, Dr. Jensen will bring you the mic, and you'll respond, okay? These are just practice questions, okay? First question, how many points do you receive for a correct answer?
1.
Sure.
One.
That is correct. So if this wasn't practice, that would be -1, and you're disqualified from answering the question. So you gotta wait for your school name. I know it's hard. All right, next question. How many points do you get removed for an incorrect?
Galena Park.
That is correct. What happens if you buzz in before I finish reading the question?
Woodland Acres.
You stop reading the question and the person who doesn't know the answer gets -1 point and another school comes off.
Correct. So I'll stop reading the question. You have to provide an answer, even if you're not really sure what the question is. So make sure I get the whole question out. Yes. Next question. How many chances do you get to answer?
Cunningham.
2.
Yep. 2 total, 1 per team. After 2 teams get it wrong, the question's dead. Next question. What happens if you answer before the buzzer master calls the name of your school?
North Shore.
The person stops reading the question.
And you miss a point.
And it's
Correct. Where are your hands supposed to be while waiting to answer?
Cunningham.
flat on the table.
That is correct. What did the rock say to the geographer?
Cunningham.
This is a little off topic, but my name's Rocky, but I'd say hello, I guess.
You tried to spin it. Anyone else? What did the rock say to the geographer?
Galena Park.
The rock said that you rock.
Oh, fair. Good guess. My punchline is, don't take me for granted. Granite, like the rock granite?
I get it.
This is significantly better than yesterday. Elementary school kids were not impressed. Okay, last practice question. Why do paper maps never win poker tournaments? Why do paper maps never win poker tournaments?
Woodland Acres.
Is it because they don't have poker faces?
Good guess. Because they always fold. Fold the paper. Fold. That one did Okay. All right. All fun aside. Are we ready? Okay. So remember, hands on the table. Wait for Miss Mary to say your school name and Dr. Jensen to get to you with the microphone. Okay? All right, here we go. On to the real questions. This state is considered to be the geographic center of the United States.
North Shore.
Kansas.
That is correct. Causing widespread catastrophic flooding, this hurricane struck New Orleans in 2005.
Woodland Acres.
Hurricane Katrina.
That is correct. Name all the states that lie along the Gulf of Mexico.
North Shore.
Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida.
That is correct. What river is the border between the U.S. and Mexico?
Cunningham.
Rio Grande.
That is the deepest lake in the United States?
North Shore.
That is incorrect.
Woodland Acres.
Crater Lake.
That is correct. Crater Lake in Oregon. This location holds the record for the world's lowest temperatures outside of Antarctica.
Greenland.
That is incorrect. This location holds the record for the world's lowest temperatures outside of Antarctica. Last time, this location,
North Shore.
Russia.
that is incorrect. The correct answer is Siberia. Next question. In April 1986, this was the site to the world's worst nuclear power plant disaster.
North Shore.
Kiev.
Can you say it again?
Kiev.
That is incorrect.
Woodland Acres.
You're right.
Chernobyl.
That is correct. Hurricanes travel across what ocean towards the U.S.?
Cunningham.
Atlantic.
That is correct. Perth, Adelaide, and Melbourne are all cities in what?
North Shore.
Australia.
That is correct. If you were visiting the site of the shot heard round the world, or the first battle,
North Shore.
Lexington and Concord. Or Concord.
that is incorrect.
Galena Park.
Philadelphia.
That is incorrect. The question is, if you were visiting the site of the shot heard round the world, or the first battle of the American Revolution, what state would you be in? Correct answer is Massachusetts. Next question. Formed as a volcano, but now dormant, this is considered to be the tallest mountain in Africa.
North Shore.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
That is correct. Mount Vernon, home of George Washington, is located in what state?
Galena Park.
Virginia.
That is correct. Though the name is commonly used to refer to an extremely distant place, Timbuktu is actually a town near the Niger River in which West African country?
Woodland Acres.
Mali.
That is correct. This country near Australia was the first to give women the right to vote.
North Shore.
New Zealand.
That is correct. What mountain range was used as a border between British colonists?
Galena Park.
Appalachian Mountains.
That is correct. Mount Everest is considered to be the highest point above sea level in the world. However, a volcano located in Hawaii, when measured from its base on the ocean floor, is technically taller than Mount Everest. What's the name of this volcano? Mount Everest is considered to be the highest point above sea level in the world. However, a volcano located in Hawaii, when measured from its base on the ocean floor, is technically taller than Mount Everest. What's the name of this volcano? Last time, Mount Everest is considered to be the highest point above sea level in the world. However, a volcano located
Woodland Acres.
Mount Negea.
That's incorrect. Correct answer is Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea. Next question. This is the largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world.
Galena Park.
Caspian.
That is incorrect. This is the largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world.
Woodland Acres.
Lake Baikal.
That is incorrect. incorrect. The correct answer is Lake Superior. Lake Superior. Next question. Kansas City is located in 2 states. What are those 2 states?
Galena Park. Kansas and Missouri.
That is correct. In 1803, Napoleon sold what property?
Galena Park. Louisiana Territory.
That is correct. In 1773, many American colonists dressed as Native Americans and dumped British tea into
Woodland Acres.
Boston Tea Party.
That is incorrect. In 1773, many American colonists dressed as Native Americans and dumped British tea into a harbor. What harbor was this?
North Shore.
The Boston Harbor.
That is correct. What crop saved the Virginia colony?
Galena Park. Tobacco.
That is correct. Harvard is the oldest university in the United States. In what city is it located? Harvard is the oldest university in the United States. In what city is it located? Last time. Harvard is the oldest university in the United States. In what city is it located? Correct answer is Cambridge, Massachusetts. Cambridge. Next question. Located in Israel, this location is considered to be a holy city.
Galena Park.
Jerusalem.
That is correct. What island would you visit to kiss the Blarney Stone? What island would you visit to kiss the Blarney Stone? Last time. What island would you visit to kiss the Blarney Stone? Correct answer is Ireland. Ireland. The old adage is if you kiss it, it gives you good luck. People are like, why do we kiss on a rock? Okay, next question. What continent has both the Sahara Desert and the Great...
North Shore.
Africa.
That is correct. If you took a trip to see the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, and Betsy Ross's home, what city would you be in?
North Shore.
Philadelphia.
That is correct. In the late 17th century, there were 3 regions of colonies in North America. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware were all part of what region?
North Shore.
New England.
That is incorrect.
Woodland Acres.
Middle colonies.
That is correct. The first civilizations were developed in Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers.
North Shore.
That is incorrect. The first civilizations were developed in Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. If you were to visit this site today, what modern-day country would you be in?
Woodland Acres.
Iraq.
That is correct. Which U.S. state was the first to ratify the Constitution?
Woodland Acres.
Rhode Island.
That is incorrect. Which U.S. state was the first to ratify the Constitution?
Cunningham.
Pennsylvania.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Delaware. Next question. What state is known as the Hoosier State? What state is known as the Hoosier State?
Woodland Acres.
Indiana.
That is correct. Does anyone know what a Hoosier is? I was born and raised there and I don't either. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows. Next question. Name the 5 themes of geography.
Cunningham.
Yes. All of you together can answer the question, but I need an answer.
Yes.
gentlemen.
Wait, what was the question again?
Absolutely not. That is incorrect. Name the 5 themes of geography.
AGI, movement, place, location, and region.
That is correct. When Texas became part of the United States, there was still a boundary dispute with Mexico over territory. What 2 rivers were part of this boundary dispute? Need an answer, guys.
Rio Grande and
That is incorrect. When Texas became part of the United States, there was still a boundary dispute with Mexico over territory. What 2 rivers were part of this boundary dispute?
Red River and Rio Grande.
That is incorrect. It's the Rio Grande and the Nueces River. Next question. Horses, sugar plants, and smallpox were introduced to the Americas as a result of what?
Triangular trade.
Can you tell me the other name for it?
Before
it was the triangular trade?
the
Okay, hold on a second. Can anyone else tell me what the name was?
The Colombian Exchange.
Correct. So give a point to North Shore and to Woodland Acres. Because both could be considered correct. At the time, it was called the Columbian Exchange, then the name changed to Triangular Trade. So they both can have one for that. Okay. We good, judges? Sorry, I'm changing the rules over here. Okay. Next question. In 2022, Putin announced a special military operation in what country?
Ukraine?
That is correct. Benedict Arnold is considered the greatest trader during the American Revolution. What important site was he going to hand over to the British? Benedict Arnold was considered the greatest trader during the American Revolution. What important site was he going to hand over to the British? Last time, Benedict Arnold is considered the greatest trader during the American Revolution. What important site was he going to hand over to the British? The correct answer is West Point Military Academy. Next question. The United States has 5 major territories that are not states.
North Shore, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, North Mariana Islands, and America Samoa.
That is correct. You only had to name 2 for the question, but she named all 5, so congratulations. That was impressive. Next question. When 2 tectonic plates meet and collide.
North Shore.
an earthquake.
That is incorrect. When 2...
Volcano.
That is incorrect. The question is, when 2 tectonic plates meet and collide, crust must either be lifted up or sent back into the earth. What is it called when crust from one plate slides under the crust of another plate? The answer is subduction. Next question. Due to its high salinity rate, which is 9.6 times higher than the world's oceans, aquatic life cannot survive in this body of water.
North Shore.
The Dead Sea.
That is correct. This South American country has the world's largest butterfly sanctuary, and it's surrounded by Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, and Brazil.
Bolivia.
That is correct. Only 2 countries in the world have a flag that is square. One is Vatican City, the other is a country in Europe. What country is it? correct.
North Shore.
Switzerland.
That is correct. The official language of this country in Africa is English. As of 2014, it was the newest country in the world.
North Shore.
South Sudan.
That is correct. What country declared its independence from Spain on September 16th?
Galena Park. Mexico.
That is correct. What type of economic system is in place in the United States?
Woodland Acres.
Free enterprise.
That is correct. I would accept a free enterprise, market economy, or capitalism. Next question. Built in 1817 by the U.S. government, what connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean?
North Shore.
The St. Lawrence River.
That is incorrect. Built in 1817 by the U.S. government, what connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean? Last time, built in 1817 by the U.S. government, what connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean? The answer is the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal. Next question. What world religion requires its believers to take the Hajjah at least once in their lifetime?
Woodland Acres.
Islam.
That is correct. What Italian city is located on a group of 117 small islands linked together by canals and bridges?
Woodland Acres.
Venice.
That is correct. What South American country bordering the Pacific Ocean is the longest and narrowest?
Woodland Acres.
Chile.
That is correct. In this country, situated between Jordan and Turkey, it is not acceptable for a man to talk to a woman in a public place.
Woodland Acres.
Syria.
That is correct. What North American country has no official language?
Galena Park. The United States.
That is correct. What agricultural product was the mainstay of the Deep South in the U.S. prior to the Civil War?
North Shore.
Cotton.
That is correct. The United Kingdom is composed of 4 countries.
North Shore.
Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and England.
That is correct. What is a widespread, long-lasting windstorm that moves in a straight line and can cause?
Galena Park.
That is correct. The Matterhorn is a peak in what mountains?
North Shore.
The Alps.
That is correct. What are the 3 main layers of the interior of the Earth called?
Is it crust, mantle, and core?
That is correct. That one was for you, Heather. The 2 smallest countries in the world are both located in Europe. Name them.
North Shore.
Vatican City and Monaco.
That is correct. This is the only South American country that borders both the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea.
North Shore.
Colombia.
That is correct. What island nation in East Asia is the only country in the world that has a reigning emperor?
Woodland Acres.
Japan.
That is correct. This country in southern Europe is located between the Aegean Sea to the east, the Ionian Sea to the west, and the Mediterranean Sea to the south.
Woodland Acres.
Greece.
That is correct. Only 2 countries in the world include "the" as a part of their official name.
Woodland Acres.
The Bahamas.
That is correct. The other one is the Gambia. Next question. What is the name given to the imaginary lines that circle the north,
North Shore.
Latitude and longitude.
That is incorrect. What is the name given to the imaginary lines that circle the north and south poles? What is the name given to the imaginary lines that circle the north and south poles?
Meridian.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. Next question. What 4 presidents are sculpted on Mount Rushmore?
Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Theodore Roosevelt.
That is correct. What is the name of the tunnel which runs under the English Channel?
The English Channel.
That is incorrect. What is the name of the tunnel which runs under the English Channel and connects England with France? What is the name of the tunnel which runs under the English Channel and connects England with France? Last time, what is the name of the tunnel that runs under the English Channel and connects England with France? The correct answer is the Channel. The Channel. Next question. Developed in 1935 by a California seismologist, what does the Richter scale measure?
The magnitude and intensity of the earthquake.
That is correct. That was a beautiful answer. Thank you. Next question. Stretching from northwest Texas across Oklahoma and through northeast Kansas. This is the nickname given to the area in the central United States.
Tornado Alley.
That is correct. What is the only U.S. state with a diamond mine?
Arkansas.
That is correct. In the year 79 CE, which Roman city was buried when the volcano Mount Vesuvius?
Pompeii.
That is correct. This 124-foot statue of Christ the Redeemer stands arms outstretched. Resume. Can you be more specific? That is incorrect. This 124-foot statue of Christ the Redeemer stands arms outstretched over what South American?
Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
That is correct. The question was, what South American city? Next question. Often referred to as the Windy City, this metropolitan area located off Lake Michigan.
North Shore.
Chicago.
That is correct. The Mariana Trench is considered to be the deepest point in the world's oceans. What is the name given to the deepest point in the Mariana Trench?
The Challenger's Deep.
That is correct. Final question. What is the only major city located on 2 continents?
Istanbul.
That is correct. Okay, hang tight and let me check with our judges, make sure we don't need any tiebreakers. good. Let's give our competitors a big round of applause. My competitors can go ahead and go have a seat. We're going to wait for the high school to finish up the individual round in the back. While they do that, I do have a Kahoot game for all of you sitting in the audience who thought, I could do this. Now's your chance to prove it. Okay? So I'll put it up and go ahead and join. I'll give you a few minutes to join and then we'll get started. Free prize. All right. Are we cleared out in the hallway? All right, middle school coaches, you have all your kiddos back. Restroom breaks. Okay. It's now middle school, your turn to take the individual written test. So if all my middle school competitors can line up over here on the side wall with Ms. Rosas. All right, let's give them a huge round of applause as they head to the back. All right, now I'm going to ask my high school competitors to go ahead and come up and have a seat. Down here on the far end, we have Early College High School. The second grouping is Galena Park, followed by North Shore and Zone Center at the end. Okay, let's go through some rules with the buzzers. Make sure you're listening closely. Right? First, you'll need to keep your hands on the table, one on each side of the buzzer, and do not hover over the buzzer. When you buzz in, I will stop reading the question, even if I'm not finished. After you buzzed in, you must wait until the buzzer master calls out the name of your school before you answer. At that time, an answer must be provided. If you answer before school has been recognized, your answer will not count, and you'll lose a point. I will then reread the question, and another student will be allowed to buzz in. Teams may work together and discuss the questions. If you buzz in, you don't necessarily have to be the person that answers the question. Anybody at your table can buzz in, anyone at your table can answer the question, okay? For each correct answer, your team receives 1 point. For each incorrect answer, your team loses 1 point. If the first team gives an incorrect answer, another team will be allowed to buzz in. There are only 2 opportunities for teams to answer. If 2 teams attempt the question with no correct answer, no one else is eligible to answer, and we'll move on to the next question. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay, listen closely because it's always you guys. Don't break my buzzers. You don't have to push on it really hard. You don't have to slam it so it bounces across the table. Don't break my buzzers, okay? All right, we're going to practice by buzzing in. Each person at your table is going to be able to buzz in. Wait for Miss Merritt to say your school. Then you're going to tell us in the microphone, when Dr. Johnson gets to you, your name, loud and proud, and then I'd like you to tell me what your plans are for after high school, okay? So start down here with Early College High School. Go ahead.
Early college.
My name is Roberto Barrientos, and I plan on doing like cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity, very nice. Definitely need cybersecurity people. Good, welcome. Next.
Early college.
Alexia Science, I plan to become an ER physician.
ER physician, fantastic. Welcome. Next.
Early college.
My name is Luz Campos and I plan to become an accountant.
An accountant. Ooh, got a headache just thinking about it.
Early college.
My name is Joshua Puente, and I plan to become an aerospace engineer.
Aerospace engineer, amazing. Welcome, Early College. All right, Galena Park.
Galena Park.
My name is Brianna Gentry. I'm going to San Luis and I'm going to be a forensic scientist.
Forensic scientist. She would have liked that new class. Okay. I know, bummer. We're going to offer a forensic psychology class next year. I know. It's like CSI. I hear you. Okay, next up, welcome.
Park.
My name is Stephanie Alcantar and I plan to become a graphic designer.
Graphic designer, wonderful, welcome.
Galena Park.
My name is Carly Orton and I plan to be a veterinarian.
Veterinarian, amazing. Welcome, Galena Park. I love this all-girl team here. All right, North Shore.
North Shore.
My name is Esteban Garza and I plan to go to MIT and study chemical engineering.
Impressive. All right, next.
North Shore.
My name is Jared Atchison and I plan on going to the University of North Texas to study economics.
Economics. Ooh, I've got some questions for you. All right, next.
North Shore.
My name is Julia Munich and I plan on going to A&M for environmental engineering.
Ooh, very nice.
North Shore.
My name is Ashley Guillen and I plan to pursue acute pediatric nursing at Emory.
Amazing. Welcome. Welcome, North Shore. All right, so what you got?
My name is Tremaine Times and I plan on becoming a therapist.
Very nice.
My name is Juliana Garcia and I want to become an ultrasound tech.
An ultrasound tech? Amazing. Interesting. All right, last but not least. Lots of psychologists. All right, wonderful. Welcome, Zoes. All right. So you see how you all like nicely touched the buzzer and it like didn't break with me? Okay. All right, good. I'm glad. All right, we're going to do some practice questions. These questions don't count. They're just practice. So remember, keep your hands on the table. Wait for Ms. Merritt to say your school name and Dr. Jensen to get to you with the microphone, okay? All right, our first practice question. How many points do you receive for a correct answer? That is correct. How many points do you get removed?
Galena Park.
1 point.
That is correct. What happens if you buzz in before I finish reading?
Early College.
You will stop reading the question and you will have to answer.
That is correct. How many chances do you get to answer?
Early College.
2 chances.
2 chances total with 2 different teams. 1 per team. What happens if you answer before the buzzer master?
Early College.
We won't be able to answer.
That's correct. If you answer before the buzzer master says your school name, you're disqualified. No matter whatever you shouted out, it's wrong. And someone else has a chance to answer. Okay? Next question. Where can your hands be while waiting to answer?
Early College.
On the table beside the buzzer.
Perfect. That is correct. Why was World War II so long?
North Shore.
What did he say? This is supposed to be a joke. They only said this is supposed to be a joke. He's been around for a while. Okay, somebody else. Why was World War II so long? Because they were stalling. You know, elementary did not think that was funny. Middle school humored me. I got this from high school. All right, let's try one more. See if I can get you. All right, what did colonists wear to the Boston Tea Party? What did colonists wear to the Boston Tea Party? See, some people know, they just don't want to say it. T-shirts. Boston Tea. Thank you, Mr. Childress. I think I'm hilarious. Fine, tough crowd. Okay. Okay, are we ready? For real? All right, hands on the table. Wait for Ms. Merritt to say your school name. Okay? All right, here we go. First question. How many voting members are in?
Early College.
435.
That is correct. The Baron de Montesquieu was a French political philosopher who argued for which concept that was debated at the Constitutional Convention? The Baron de Montesquieu was a French political philosopher who argued for which concept that was debated at the Constitutional Convention? Last time, the Baron de Montesquieu was a French political philosopher who argued for which concept that was debated at the Constitutional Convention? The correct answer is separation of powers. Separation of powers. Next question. Name all three of the authors of the Federalist Papers.
Early college.
John Jay, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton.
That is correct. What empire was founded around the central city?
Early college.
The Aztec Empire.
That is correct. What country was founded in Africa as part of the anti-slavery movement?
Early college.
Liberia.
That is correct. What did President Eisenhower do to prevent the governor of Arkansas from blocking 9 African American?
North Shore.
He used the National Guard.
Can you be more specific about what gave him the power to do that?
He used the National Guard to have the National Guard escort the children into the school to prevent them from being harassed.
All 100% correct, but what did he issue that allowed him to do that?
Executive order.
That is correct. We got there. We got there. Next question. In a supply and demand graph,
Early college.
Equilibrium.
that is correct. What 16-year-old rode her horse?
Early college.
Sybil Livingston.
That is correct. What body of water separates Alaska from Russia?
Early college.
Bering Strait.
That is incorrect. What body of water separates Alaska from Russia?
Galena Park.
Bering Sea.
That is correct. What was considered to be the first Constitution of the United States?
Galena Park.
Articles of Confederation.
That is correct. Who was the target population for Medicare?
North Shore.
People with disabilities.
Is incorrect. Who is the
Zoats.
That is incorrect. The question is, who is the target population for Medicare? The correct answer is people over the age of 65. Medicaid is what you're thinking of. Next question. Which constitutional amendment is responsible for reserving powers to the states?
Early college.
Tenth Amendment.
That is correct. Which New Deal program for relief and recovery built a series of dams designed to generate electricity and tackle erosion, flood control, and reforestation in the rural areas?
North Shore.
Civilian Conservation Corps.
That is incorrect. Which New Deal program for relief and recovery built a series of dams designed to generate electricity and tackle erosion, flood control, and reforestation in the rural areas of southern states? Last time, which New Deal program for relief and recovery built a series of dams designed to generate electricity and tackle erosion, flood control, and reforestation in the rural areas of southern states? The correct answer is the Tennessee Valley Authority. Next question. Executive Order 9066 authorized the forced internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. What U.S. president was responsible?
Early college.
Very true.
That is incorrect.
North Shore.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
That is correct. Which event started the space race between the United States?
Early college.
Cold War.
That is incorrect.
North Shore.
member of the Boston Sons of Liberty, helped finance activities against the British and is known for his oversized signature on the Declaration of Independence?
John Hancock.
That is correct. Which group faced discriminatory legislation in 1887 and is considered to be largely responsible for the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad?
Chinese.
That is correct. Who was the revolutionary who was a patriot spy and a double agent working for the United States during the American Revolution?
Hercules Mulligan.
That is incorrect. Who was the revolutionary who was a patriot spy and a double agent working for the United States during the American Revolution?
Lafayette.
That is incorrect. Correct answer is James Armistead. Next question. In the Supreme Court case Tinker v. Des Moines School Board, the Supreme Court ruled what?
North Shore.
The armbands were a part of free speech.
Which is part of what amendment?
The First Amendment.
Correct. Which event started World War II in 1939?
North Shore.
The invasion of Poland
By?
by Germany and Russia.
That is correct. This city is named in honor of Bernardo de Galvez.
Early College.
That is correct. 700 farmers in western Massachusetts were unable to pay their taxes on their farms. They attacked courthouses to prevent officials from foreclosing on their property and taking away their lands. The militia was called in to end the mob violence. Many Americans saw this as a sign that the government under the Articles of Confederation was not working.
North Shore.
The Whiskey Rebellion.
That is incorrect.
Early College.
States Rebellion.
That is correct. Who was the founding father who organized the Sons of Liberty in resisting the Stamp Act and the Townsend duties? Who was the founding father who organized the Sons of Liberty in resisting the Stamp Act and the Townsend duties? Last time. Who was the founding father who organized the Sons of Liberty in resisting the Stamp Act and the Townsend duties? Correct answer is Samuel Adams. Next question. Which colonial woman asked her husband to remember the ladies while writing the Declaration?
Abigail Adams.
That is correct. Which city is best known for being the home of Tin Pan Alley?
Early College.
New York.
That is correct. What is the least populated state?
Wyoming.
That is correct. Which event caused the death of over 500 million people at the close of World War I?
The invasion of Normandy.
That is incorrect.
North Shore.
Spanish influenza.
That is correct. What law passed by Congress and signed by President Andrew Jackson resulted in the Trail of Tears?
North Shore.
The Indian Removal Act.
That is correct. Who was the first U.S. president to be impeached?
Early College.
Andrew Johnson.
That is correct. This notable woman was the first woman awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work promoting the rights of children, African Americans, and women, and her work in the peace movement during World War I. This notable woman was the first woman awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work promoting the rights of children, African Americans, and women, and her work in the peace movement during World War I. Last time. This notable woman was the first woman awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work promoting the rights of children, African Americans, and women, and her work in the peace movement during World War I. Correct answer, Jane Addams. Jane Addams. Next question. What is the minimum age requirement for a U.S. Senator?
Early college.
30.
That is correct. In what speech was the following quote delivered? That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain.
Early college.
The Gettysburg Address.
That is correct. This French historian and political scientist wrote Democracy in America, predicting that democratic institutions will replace the aristocratic government of Europe.
Galena Park.
Tulsa.
That is correct. Who was the first Hispanic or Latino to serve?
Early college.
Sonia Sotomayor.
That is correct. What 2 warnings did George Washington issue?
Early college.
No political parties and no foreign allies.
That is correct. The Monroe Doctrine, adopted during James Monroe's presidency, provided that the Western Hemisphere should be freed from future European colonization, and the U.S. should do what with European wars?
North Shore.
Stay out of it.
That is correct. After building a successful American steel company, this notable Scotsman,
North Shore.
Andrew Carnegie.
that is correct. Joseph is a prominent member of the community. He was arrested and charged with a serious crime. He hired the best lawyer in the community, who was also a golfing buddy with the judge presiding over his case. His attorney asked the judge to give Joseph a private trial. The judge refused, citing which amendment? Joseph is a prominent member of the community. He was arrested and charged with a serious crime. He hired the best lawyer in the community, who was also a golfing buddy with the judge presiding over his case. His attorney asked the judge to give Joseph a private trial. The judge refused, citing which amendment? Last time, Joseph is a prominent member of the community. He was arrested and charged with a serious crime. He hired the best lawyer. That is correct. Speedy and public trial. Very good. Next question. Which novel was a major catalyst for the Meat Inspection Act?
North Shore.
The Jungle by Upton South. Sorry, The Jungle.
That's correct. Next question. This war hero was named Commander-in-Chief of the American Expeditionary Forces during World War I. His troops played a significant role at the Battle of Argonne Forest.
New York? No.
That is incorrect. So, great. This war hero was named Commander-in-Chief of the American Expeditionary Forces during World War I. His troops played a significant role in the Battle of the Argonne Forest. Last time, this war hero was named Commander-in-Chief of the American Expeditionary Forces. During World War I, his troops played a significant role in the Battle of Argonne Forest. Correct answer is John J. Pershing. Alvin York served under Pershing and got the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's what okay. Next question. This notable person was the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard and later went on to help co-found the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP.
North Shore.
Thurgood Marshall.
That is incorrect. This notable person was the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard and later went on to help co-found the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP. Last time, This notable person was the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard, and later went on to help co-found the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP. The correct answer is W.E.B. Du Bois. Next question. This former lawyer lost the Senate race in 1858, but was elected President of the United States in 1860.
Abraham Lincoln.
That is correct. Which president was responsible for nominating the first female Supreme Court justice?
Ronald Reagan.
That is correct. Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, and John Brown all had what?
They led slave uprisings or slave rebellions.
That is correct. Why did the United States Senate choose not to ratify the Treaty of Versailles?
They didn't want to be controlled by the League of Nations.
That is correct. Besides a prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment, the Eighth Amendment also prohibits what?
Early college.
No unjust bail.
Can you explain a little bit?
No excessive.
There we go. No excessive bail or fines. That's correct. No free man shall be arrested and imprisoned.
Early college.
Magna Carta.
That is correct. What is the largest lake in Florida?
Early college.
Lake Okeechobee.
That is correct. What is the DMZ?
Early college.
The demilitarized zone.
Between what two countries?
North and South Korea.
That is correct. If the president can no longer serve, who is the fifth person?
Early college.
Secretary of Defense.
That is incorrect.
Lena Park.
Secretary of Treasury.
That is correct. Our nation's motto was originally E pluribus unum, which means out of many comes one. But in 1956,
Early college.
In God we trust.
that is correct. What is the southernmost U.S. state?
Lena Park.
Hawaii.
That is correct. What economic term is used to describe the money or benefits lost?
Lena Park.
Opportunity cost.
That is correct. The deepest point in the world's oceans?
Early college.
Mariana Trench.
That is correct. What do Theodore Roosevelt, Ross Perot?
Early college.
They ran as third-party candidates.
That is correct. Who was the most infamous political boss of New York's Tammany Hall?
Lena Park.
Boss Tweed.
That is correct. What is the Great Compromise used?
Early college.
A bicameral legislature.
That is correct. Benedict Arnold is considered the greatest traitor.
Lena Park.
West Point.
That is correct. Who is the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme?
Early college.
John Roberts.
That is correct. Which amendment grants citizenship for all persons?
Lena Park.
14.
That is correct. What artist is remembered for the painting of the Sistine Chapel, as well as the famous Pieta statue that is housed in St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City?
North Shore.
Michelangelo.
That is correct. The northeast portion of this island in the eastern Mediterranean Sea has declared itself a separate state, but it's recognized only by Turkey. What is this country called?
North Shore.
Timor-Leste.
That is incorrect. The The northeastern portion of this island in the eastern Mediterranean Sea has declared itself a separate state, but it's recognized only by Turkey. What is this country called?
Early college.
Cyprus.
That is correct. Which international organization replaced?
Early college.
NATO?
That is incorrect.
North Shore.
United Nations.
That is correct. Where was the world's worst nuclear power plant disaster?
Galena Park.
Chernobyl, Ukraine.
That is correct. What type of economic system is used?
Early college.
Capitalism.
That is correct. What is the smallest country in the world in terms?
Early college.
Vatican City.
That is correct. This Chief Justice of the Supreme Court ruled Marbury v. Madison.
Early college.
Need an answer? Okay, that is incorrect.
Galena Park.
John Marshall.
That is correct. What document declared slaves in rebelling states to be?
Early college.
Emancipation Proclamation.
That is correct. The persons whose company built the largest fleet of airplanes used during World War I and manufactured a seaplane that was the first to be able to take off and land on the deck of a ship was also known as the father of naval aviation.
Galena Park.
Boeing.
That is incorrect. The person whose company built the largest fleet of airplanes used during World War I and manufactured a seaplane that was the first to be able to take off and land on the deck of a ship was also known as the father of naval aviation. Last time. The person whose company built the largest fleet of airplanes used during World War I and manufactured a seaplane that was first to be able to take off and land on the deck of a ship was also known as the father of naval aviation. Correct answer is Glenn Curtis. Glenn Curtis. Next question. What happens to the demand curve when there's an increase in the price of a substitute good?
Galena Park.
The demand curve shifts to the right.
That is correct. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, was said by which famous American?
Galena Park.
JFK.
That is correct. Registering over 1,000 patents for as many inventions.
North Shore.
Thomas Edison.
That is correct. In 1974, the Supreme Court denied President Richard Nixon's claim of executive privilege in the United States versus Nixon.
North Shore.
Watergate scandal.
Can you tell me a little more about what happened after that?
He resigned.
In lieu of?
04.
No. In lieu of, why did he resign?
Because he of a hubbub.
But what was going to happen to him? There we go. That's correct. This doctrine, established in 1947, was responsible for providing aid to countries that were threatened by communism. This doctrine, established in 1947, was responsible for providing aid to countries that were threatened by communism.
Galena Park.
Truman Doctrine.
That is correct. The election day when the largest number of U.S. states.
Early college.
Super Tuesday.
That is correct. Dying just 5 days after the end of the Scopes monkey trial, this notable person believed in a literal interpretation of the Bible and argued against Clarence Darrow. dying just 5 days after the end of the Scopes monkey trial. This notable person believed in a literal interpretation of the Bible and argued against Clarence Darrow. Last time, dying just 5 days after the end of the Scopes monkey trial, this notable person believed in a literal interpretation of the Bible and argued against Clarence Darrow. Correct answer is William Jennings Bryan. Next question. How does inflation affect the purchasing power of money?
It lowers the value.
That is correct. Who were the two women who founded the National
Early college.
Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady.
That is correct. During World War II, the term Liberty State was used.
Early college.
Hamburger.
That is correct. What did the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Chenek v. United States establish? What did the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Chenek v. United States establish? Last time, what did the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Chenek v. United States establish? The correct answer is freedom of speech can be restricted during wartime. Next question. Which religious leader and spiritual advisor to many U.S. presidents claimed that the fight against communism was the ultimate fight between good and evil? Which religious leader and spiritual advisor to many U.S. presidents claimed that the fight against communism was the ultimate fight between good and evil? Last time, which religious leader and spiritual advisor to many U.S. presidents claimed that the fight against communism was the ultimate fight between good and evil? Correct answer is Billy Graham. Billy Graham. Next question. What Supreme Court decision established the precedent of the Supreme Court?
Early college.
Marbury v. Madison.
That is correct. Only 2 Central American countries border Mexico. Name them.
Early college.
Belize and Guatemala.
That is correct. Which great American novel described the lives of agricultural workers during the Dust Bowl? Which great American novel described the lives of agricultural workers during the Dust Bowl? Last time, which great American novel described the lives of agricultural workers during the Dust Bowl? The correct answer is The Grapes of Wrath. Last question. Name all 5 rights guaranteed.
Early college.
Religion, assembly, petition, press, and speech.
That is correct. Okay, hang tight and let me check with our judges to make sure we don't have any ties before I release you. We're good. Let's get a big round of applause for all of our high school students. Y'all can go ahead and head back and have a seat. While we wait for our middle schoolers to finish up their individual tests, I do have another Kahoot game for you. So some of you all can redeem yourselves from the first round. If you didn't play in the first round, you want to play in this round, now's your opportunity. I'll put up the join code and give you a few minutes to get situated. Mr. Deeds came out of retirement for the geography beat. He just missed us all so much.
Check her Google search. Check her Google search.
You stole my strawberry.
Ms. Rosas. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our awards presentation. We first want to recognize our coaches. So as I call you, if you can come on up from Cobb, Ms. Haiti Matthews. From Cunningham, Ms. Ade Aquilou. From Galena Park, Ms. Maria Alvarez. From North Shore, Ms. Haley Diaz. And from Woodland Acres, Ms. Lindsay Holder. Moving on to our high school folks, everyone can stay up here for a picture. From Galena Park High School, Mr. Jerome Pasquale. From North Shore Senior High, Mr. John Childress. From Zotes, Mr. Evan Basham. And from Early College High School, Mr. Isidro Maldonado. All right, moving on, we're going to start by recognizing each of our middle school participants. So when I call you, go ahead and come on up. Mr. Alan Salguero. Rocky Balboa. Gabriel Garza. Santiago Montenegro. Joseph Villavicencio. Clarissa Gutierrez. Emmanuel Lozano. Noah Anguiano. Adrian Calderon. Angel Fuentes. Okay, now we're going to move on to the individual competition first, starting with our 6th grader. In 3rd place, Santiago Montenegro. In 2nd place from Cobb, Jacob Mendoza. Santiago, please stay up here. And in 1st place from Cobb, Alan Salguero. And then all 3 of y'all can get a picture together after. Moving on to 7th grade, from North Shore Middle School in 3rd place, Sunshine Good. And in 2nd place from Cunningham Middle School, Rocky Balboa.
Yay!
And in 1st place from Woodland Acres Middle School, Adrian Calderon. Okay, all 3 of you. Moving on to 8th grade, in 3rd place from Cunningham Middle School, Gabriel Garza. In 2nd place from Woodland Acres Middle School, Angel Fuentes. And in 1st place from North Shore Middle School, Emmanuel Lozano. scoring middle school student overall in 7th grade. From Woodland Acres Middle School, Adrian Calderon. Now for the team competition. In 3rd place, we have Galena Park Middle School. Coaches, go ahead and come on up with your team. If there's any administrators present, hop in the photo. In 2nd place, North Shore Middle School. And in 1st place, our highest scoring middle school in the team competition, Woodland Acres Middle School. Let's hold it, that's a 2-peat, right? 2 years in a row? She said yeah. Woodland Acres Elementary won yesterday, so some Southside bragging rights there. Okay, moving on to high school. As I call your name, come on up. Stephanie Alcantar. Cecily Ortiz. Brianna Gentry. Carly Orton Newcomb. Esteban Garza. Julia Munich. Jared Atchison. Ashley Gian Magana. Tremaine Times. Juliana Garcia. Vivian Luniga. Melanie Garza. Joshua Puentes. Alexia Sines. Luz Campos. And Robert Barrientos. Okay, now moving on to the individual competition for high school. In third place from Early College High School, Joshua Puente. Oh, Joshua, stay here. In second place from Galena Park High School, Stephanie Alcantar. And in first place, and also receiving the $500 Ruby Gresham Scholarship from North Shore Senior High, Esteban Garza. Big round of applause for Esteban. This is the second year in a row that he's won the scholarship. Perfect. Congratulations. Awesome. Congratulations. Moving on to the team competition. In third place, North Shore Senior High. In second place, Galena Park High School. And in first place, CTE Early College High School. Let's get one more round of applause for all of our participants. And one more big round of applause for our coaches and all of our volunteers for helping. That concludes today's geography piece. Thank you all so much for coming out. There is a backdrop, and we'll leave everything up if you want to take some team photos or any pictures or anything like that. If not, everyone have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful Thanksgiving.